Now, we know the basic turns, but there's also a basic step if you don't want to do any of the spins. The basic step, you just bring your arms out, and your right legs are going to cross each other, and then you turn, and it's not quite a 180, it's a little bit more of a circular motion that you're going through, but it's almost a 180. And this is only good if you keep a lot of tension and it goes fast. And some people really like this a lot more than the turns do because it makes the dancing high-paced. I prefer the turns myself, but if you wanted to, a lot of tension, just like that. And then that's the regular basic step without any turns. A lot of the things that you do are going to happen from the cuddle position. And so you're going to need to direct the girl as to what you're doing. Bring her into the cuddle, and right now I'm going to show you the saddle and a few different ways to get into it. What happens is basically, once you tell her you're into the saddle, she's going to fall back and have her arms here, and you have your fist up like this, and you're going to step over her with your right leg, and then over again with the left. There, there, and back out. She just has to stay really rigid and straight, and you really just have to pick up your legs and go over. That's why it's called the saddle, because your legs are in a saddle type position. Then there's a way to get into it that's called the push-up, where you bring the girl into it. You're going to tell her you're going to do the push-up, and you have the hands on the hips as though you're about to do the guitar, except you're not going to throw her near as high, and you need to, when you throw her up, not so high. She needs to also tilt. So you kind of push her upper body down so she can tilt, because her legs are going to wrap around your waist and lock ankles. She'll fall down into a push-up position with you controlling her speed. And you bring her back up, and she'll fall straight into the saddle position. So once I say saddle, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're there for the saddle move. Of course, it'll be a little bit more dramatic when you're dancing, music. You can do the saddle better. It was a little sloppy, I apologize. Also, the next was going to be the clock move. With this move, you bring the girl in, you switch hand grips so that you're holding as though you'd be holding hands regularly if you're walking, just like that.
Fingers interlocked.
With fingers interlocked. The guy's wrists are on the outside of the girl's wrists, if you can see, just like that. She's going to know immediately we're going into the clock. So for this one, the right arm's going to go over her head, and she's right now perpendicular to me. And it's going to wrap around her stomach, and when I jump up, or when I push up, she's going to keep her body straight and also push up with her legs and make a motion that's going to make her look like a clock. So we're just going to, and then you go back immediately once she has a chance to reset. So it's 1, 2, 3. Like that. We'll do it real-time speed so you can get a sense for what it looks like. The girl jumping helps a lot, but also the guy needs to use the legs there to power her through. Make sure she gets set and go again. You don't need to count to 3, you just kind of go together. It's not like some of the other moves. So bring her in, interlock, around. And that's the clock right there. Alright, here's a few of the floor dance moves right here. This one is called the pretzel. It's because you're winding yourself up in a weird way. To start it, you're going to go under your own arm, the guy will. Switch positions with the right hand and with the left, so that it's natural when her right arm goes over her head, and then your right arm goes over her head, and then over your own head, and you're back to this regular position, but you've got a weird hold again. So you can keep doing it here, there, right arm over your own head, and then to get out of it, you just do the girl turn. Or you could do the cuddle and go straight into the cuddle from there. Either way is going to work just fine. Yes, it will. Alright, If you did go straight into the cuddle, you could do what was known as the triple dip, where spin her out, and then you bring her back in and wind her up and lean, and then spin her out again. She's going to come, this time she's going to jump on your knee, on your leg. You should just be able to hold her there. And this is also how the knee throw should go. You should be able to hold her there so that you can throw her back out. On the third time she comes in, you lock hands like this. Her left arm's coming up. The guy should bring his left foot forward so he doesn't fall on top of her when she goes down. The right arm comes up, and she's going to dip down, come back up. It's important for the girl to remember to do the right things with her legs. Melissa will explain.
Whenever you flip one leg up, you need to make sure it is the leg that is closest to the guy. So the guy with the leg on the floor is the one farthest away from the guy to help stabilize your balance. If you lift up this leg, you're going to tip over this way.
And bring the guy on top of you, so
Not
good. That was the triple dip that we showed you. Another one you can do is to, once you bring into the cuddle, if you lean back, the girl will know you're going to do the long dips, which are then, you just bring the arm straight above. She's going to go straight into the dip that we just did on the opposite side. Bring your back up. You have to change both hands. So when she spins, you're going to have her right arm in a grip that looks like that, and her left arm kind of a monkey grip around her pinky. So when she goes down again and comes back up, it's going to be a more natural feeling. You'll have a good grip on her. That's the long dip. Next we're going to show you a lift that's called the cartwheel. This is one that Melissa really likes. It's a little weird because of the position the guy has to take. The girl's going to do a cartwheel with the assistance of the guy's knees. So the guy needs to sit back and kind of poke his knees out. The girl's going to be coming from his right.
Or whatever way the girl likes to do a cartwheel.
I guess so, whichever way the girl likes to do a cartwheel. And she's going to put her arms around the guy's legs, and the guy assists her by grabbing her around the waist and making sure she gets up and over. It's a little weird to try. Just kind of play with it without doing a full cartwheel, or the guy helping more than they will in the end. But the way to get into it is to say you're going to do the cartwheel once you bring her into the cuddle, to spin her out, to get into the position so that when she goes, you're leaning back, and you slide out, and you have the left hand there again to get her back into the position by doing the girl turn. Here's two more ground moves coming your way. It's going to be the egg beater first, which you're going to have the girl, when you're spinning her, you're going to face slightly opposite directions, so she's kind of perpendicular, and bring both of her arms up. Your left hand is going to have to pivot